Gotta keep it rolling, gotta keep it popping till the coffin drops, dog. I be doing this. Made it, man, I'm gonna make it. All I wanna be is famous. I don't care about the haters. All they do is make me greater. The prodigy piling with energy, aiming my enemies, that is the recipe. Do what I gotta do, nothing is optional. This is the start of a dynasty. Better just get with the program. In love with success with a romance. Be running this shit through the motions. Don't be acting brand new, you're a has-been. Seeing right through you translucent. Always irrelevant nuisance. What you know about the man now? How about stand down or you'll end up a man down? Make 100 million. Yeah, do you know that? I just wanna be the greatest of all. Do you know that? Make us a living, just kill it.
Hey, this is Avril Lavigne. This is Gwen from No Doubt.
Hi, this is Usher, and you're listening to
GSNJ Radio.
Yeah, we live now, GSNJ Radio. We definitely got a certain energy in the building. I told you guys at 8 p.m. we was going to have him for the interview. So what's going on, man?
It's going all right, man. Just living the dream.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that you're out there in Okinawa. Is that correct?
Yes, in Japan.
Now tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, about 3 years ago, after I graduated high school, I didn't actually have a plan. I was just, just living, working at Champ Sports, and I didn't really know what to do with my life. And my father, he actually pointed out that I should join the U.S. Marines. And I was skeptical about it because I wasn't really a military guy.
Okay.
But I knew that with the Marine Corps, it would help discipline me and help me point me to the right direction of what to do with my life. And after 3 years, I ended up here. Up here in the Marines.
And you know what? That's awesome. And we were talking before. You've also had the experience of seeing other cultures and other places in the world. Is that correct?
Correct. I've been to Thailand, Australia, East Timor, the Philippines, Singapore, Hong Kong, and a couple other places as well.
That's crazy, man. That's definitely interesting. And I'm going to start it off with the first question. Is hip-hop big in all these places, or is it big out there where you are now? Like it is here in the U.S.?
So different. The U.S., so the United States, they have a influential culture on all these places, actually. No matter what it is. Like Singapore, it's the wealth culture. Well, it's in Thailand, it's the hip-hop culture, yes. It's honestly the party nature they take after, the underground life. That's what Thailand takes after. The Philippines as well take after the United States for the party culture, the hip-hop culture. Australia, they take after I'd say, like the early 2000s culture, that type of music.
Okay.
Whereas it's like, you got like rock, then you got mixed with hip-hop. Sometimes you hear that old school Jay-Z, that old school Tupac. You hear all that stuff all over Australia for some reason. What you would think that they're more modern, but you still hear that old school classic stuff playing in like the most notorious clubs. Honestly, all these places are influenced by United States culture, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. But whatever we do, whatever we post, a lot of people in these other countries actually look up to it and try to mirror it.
I'm definitely happy that you said that because that's very important that,
yes,
the people looking up to us are shown the right way. So let me ask you this, and definitely thank you for your service. I appreciate you and all of our listeners. We got a lot of listeners right now. Appreciate you and what you do. What does a day in the life of a certain energy look like? You just woke up. What time is it out there right now?
It's 10:06 a.m. right now as we speak. So honestly, a normal day for me, it really depends. So a normal work day for me, I wake up, I usually go to sleep at about 3 a.m. just after writing music, recording, trying to get that right mix, or, trying to get the right reviews on some lyrics for myself and all that stuff. And I wake up in about 3 hours to go to work for about 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
Or more. It really depends on what's going on. Honestly, it's
the other day you had a 24-hour
if we're prepping for deployment, or if we're just prepping for the field, or we're just prepping for honestly, if we're just getting ready for anything, it really depends. Because honestly, I'm 24/7. Yeah. So writing music is actually more of a privilege for me, and I'm humble enough just even get that chance. and that opportunity to spend that time to do what I love.
And that pulls me into the next question. How do you find the time? How do you do that?
It's really hard to find the time. So, like what my father always says, what my father always says, he always told me to make time. If you do what you love, you're gonna have to make time for it, no matter what.
That's real. That's definitely real. Tell me about how you got your name. How did a certain energy come about? What's the origin of that? Did you come up with that? Were you given that?
So the origin of that, it's actually a really funny story. I remember I was 13 years old, 14 years old, and I was in school. My friends and I always, after school, we went to our friend Matt's house, and we recorded on our desktop mic, started rapping. Just the rap, try it out.
Right.
And my first name was Taco. I'm only like 10%, something like that, Hispanic. I'm mostly Filipino.
Okay.
But my friends gave me that name when they first met me, when I first came to Fort Wayne, Indiana. They gave me that name because when they first met me, I was eating a taco, and they're like, "Hey, let's call you Taco." I'm like, "All right, I feel like that's kind of offensive." That's cool. That's all right. I just met you guys. Sure, whatever. I mean, cool, dog. But yeah, we first started rapping, and I started rapping with this group called the New Age Kings, and I mean, we rapped for about 3 years together, and then I remember a friend told me that I'm not going to progress if I stay with them, and I was kind of hurt. At the same time, it's like, man, I want to progress with my friends, but at the same time, it's like, is that true? Will I go farther, or if I stay, will I go farther too? So I ended up leaving, and after leaving, I just I stopped music for about 2 years. I was 16 at the time, and after that, I gave it another shot, but I knew I needed a new name. So what I did honestly was Googled how to think of a good name, or I just tried to find influences, walked around downtown, did all these things. And I don't know how, but after a week straight of trying to find my name, I literally just sat down on the couch in the living room, watched some TV. I walked around, and it was just weird. I just looked at an outlet. I looked at an outlet. I was like, energy. What am I gonna do with that energy? I like that energy. But I didn't really want just energy. That's just weird to me. So I was like, I do bring a certain energy to the field. Right. I like bringing that attitude. I like bringing that swagger. I like bringing all that.
There you go.
And then boom, 1 + 1 = 2, and having that additional part, boom, a certain energy was born.
That's crazy. That's dope. So you spent the time looking for it, and it kind of just came to you.
It just happened. That's what I learned after that is just if you quit, you're not going to go anywhere. Just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's definitely real. You got a lot of good energy. You got a lot of a certain energy, man. That I definitely vibe with. I'm rocking with you, definitely. Now, I want everybody that's listening right now to go subscribe to the Spotify. A Certain Energy, just like it sounds. I want you guys to go check out the YouTube video. I want you guys to go follow him on Instagram, and everything's tagged A Certain Energy, right?
Hey, right there. It's same name everywhere. Certain Energy.
You could basically put it in Bing or put it in Google, and it's all going to pop up. I did it, and everything pops up one by one. So just go down the list and do it like that. We're going to continue on with this interview. Now, I remember earlier you saying that you mix your stuff. So in your spare time, when you have opportunity, you're a recording engineer.
Yes, when I have the opportunity, I try to mix my stuff. But honestly, that I've grown and became well known for procrastinating now, because usually when I start mixing, other stuff comes up. Like I get a call, say, "Hey, you gotta check this gear," or "Hey, you gotta run over here real quick for about maybe an hour," which then turns to 6 hours.
Right.
And then it's like, man, I don't really got time for this. I know I can't make time for this. So then I started. That's when it's funny. It's weird. Because it took me about 24 hours to write, mix, and produce this demo song I made, Slaughterfest. And after that, that's when a lot of people started contacting me about, mixing and whatnot, saying, "Hey, this guy, this guy's got he's got a bright future. If he keeps going, I want to be part of this. So and it's weird because that's when, out of nowhere, out of the blue, my engineer that I now work with, Alexander the Great, or known by LX, he's based out of the United Kingdom. He contacted me through Twitter, and he was saying that if we come together as a team, we're both going to make it far. And this guy's already well established, and that's how you're like, this even a real thing? This guy's got like 100K followers, and he's messaging me like I'm like a 500 follower guy.
But you know what?
It's
what I learned and what I'm learning, and I continue to learn and grow every day. As hopefully everybody listening does as well. It's not always about how many. Sometimes it's about who.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
And that he brought
that new. He gave me a new perspective in music that honestly I would have never saw unless we both did a little talking for about like a 2 weeks straight. We talked straight up, did no business, just talked about music, the vibes and whatnot. And honestly, I think that's what honestly made me the artist I am right now. After the game for 3 months, that's how I came up with like all these songs that I have that are coming out March 8th. March 8th, the new EP is going to be coming out. And all these songs honestly came up from that influence, all these influences through my life.
Yeah, that's definitely hard body. That's crazy. That is, and I was going to get into it, so I'm not even going to touch on it too much right now, but definitely you got an EP coming out, and I'm super excited for that. So when you get done all that, man, send me some of those tracks, because we're going to
I will. I'll send it before the even release. So
let me ask you this, Pro Tools or Logic?
Pro Tools kind of guy.
Okay, no doubt. And do you record other people as well? I heard you say, so you do yourself and other people?
Yes. So when I was in high school working at Champs, I wasn't making as much as as everyone would think working at retail. So what I came up with is because you know how much I love music, and I did have all that spare time. Why not just record people for like a little fee, like maybe $20, $30, and just kept going, kept growing, and then all that time in the world led up to all these investments, all this happening right now after saving all that money. Now I put it into myself, and here we are.
Absolutely, and investing in yourself is definitely key. Most absolutely. You got the crazy single "Know That" right now, and that's something that I've seen you pushing. We've been pushing the radio station. We're behind you on it. It's a dope record. You putting it out. You're getting a great response from it. How did that record come about? Like, how did the song come about? And I love the concept because you hear the name and you get it, and then you hear the song and you're like, hell yeah.
So Know That, honestly, it's weird because I wasn't really in like an influential environment. There's nothing around me that influenced me to make that song. I was just sitting in my room in the barracks. After work, I just sat down and watched Family Guy, chilled out for a second, vibing with friends, talking random stuff, talking about, what happened in the day, who messed up the most today, who we're gonna yell out, who we're gonna haze, whatever, that stuff. But it's like I just took my time on it. It took about 3 days to write, and it was funny because every day I kept thinking, man, it's gonna be a dope track, but I really hope that I'm coming at it right, And then after the final day, after writing it, I stayed up the whole night just making sure that everything right on it, all the breath controls, there's nothing off on it. And after that, it just came to me like, hey, this is exactly how you need to write it. And I just rewrote the whole thing.
Oh, wow. And that's perfection, man. That's what it takes. There's a difference between, I believe, rappers and artists, and you just hit nail on the head. You draft it up and, you go through it and you analyze it, and then you build the masterpiece. And too many artists that I see, and I can't even call them artists, rappers, that's mainly who does it, because a lot of the singers, they be on it like you said, like an artist.
Oh, yes.
Some of these rappers, man, I'm just like, nah, we can't spin it. So I was so happy when your music came through and I heard it, because I'm like, yo, I love the whole concept. I love everything that's going on. Is the music good? And I heard it, and I'm like, hell yeah, throw that shit on the radio right now. Definitely. So that's what's up, man. I love to hear that. What I believed, you do. You're an artist, and you really go through the music, and you're meticulous with your work. That's definitely dope. And I appreciate it more now too, and I'm sure everybody listening does as well, because people don't realize how much work it takes to create a song from the time that you get that beat or hear that beat to the end of the music video and it's going up. People do not realize, bro, like what you put into it, especially you being an engineer too.
Yeah, it's honestly time consuming, and the fact that I try to put some engineering into it, but at the same time it's like, hey, I'm just going to have to send it up to my guy Alex. At the same time, I feel like I'm engineering it too, because if I don't like a particular sound on it, I'm going to tell him to change it, or I'm going to like add some additions to it, you know, maybe some reverb or delays, echoes, all distortion. I know I look into that too with my engineering portion, and I just send it to him. And just trying to balance that out with the military life, it's just, honestly, a sane person would probably just go crazy. And I'm glad I'm neither. So here we are.
There we go. Let's rock and roll. Hey, you got a certain energy, so it works. It definitely works. Now you just had a song released, or you're featured in a song with, who is it? Samuel. The 4 pillars on the This Is Hot This Week Volume 9 mixtape. Yes. What's up with that?
That was hosted by Mixtape Plugs on Spinnerella.
Okay.
And we got our slot again from LX, the engineer. So actually, I was asked by LX to be a part of that, and obviously, you know, I jumped on it. I was like, "Whoa, hey, this is a big deal." You know, being on a mixtape alongside like Lil Durk, who else was it? Kanye.
There's a lot of big names on there.
A lot of big names are on it, and I was just like, "Whoa, who am I? Is a certain energy popping? Hey, is certain energy popping?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep rolling with it, keep rolling with the punches. You know, I'm just going to keep writing my lyrics, keep doing trying to grind it out, whatnot. And honestly, that track came out better than I expected. It's got a lot of diversity in it. It's got, you know, Smooth come up on it, and then out of nowhere just changes the vibe real quick.
Right.
And honestly, I think I'm pretty proud of that track. I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, you should be, because I listened to it earlier, and we're going to spin it later on tonight. It sounds good. It's official, man. Another one. Which again, I'm so excited to hear this EP coming out March 8th. So y'all got to go.
Hey.
Let me ask you this, bro. You recently also had your video on the Trap Music Daily Tweet. Now they got 80,000 followers, and already your joint is up to 216 likes and 65 retweets. What?
Yeah, I remember him telling me when he heard it, he was like, "This track has so much potential and it needs to be put out there." And I was like, "Is this even real life? Am I getting all these positive reviews for real?" Like, I remember 7 years ago, I was sitting in, you know, my friend's living room trying to record on a desktop mic, and now here we are, getting told that, hey, this guy's got potential. He told me that I'm the first independent artist that's actually having good reviews on his music feed, because when he has an independent artist, he has to promote it at a good time. He promoted it at like a decent time, and it's got all that going on right now.
That's dope, bro. And you know, again, the music speaks for itself. And I told you that you was getting good reviews on our end, and I'm seeing other good reviews you got. People are rocking, you know, your gear. I see you got the hat on right now. Is that do you design that? Because I know that you got a sponsorship as well.
Yes, with the MBS clothing company. So they sponsor me in clothing. All I gotta do is send up designs and whatnot. I have my own tab on there as well. They finally gave me my own tab, so I got like a whole bunch of diverse gear on it, and there's gonna be more coming, of course. But mbsclothingco.com, that's their website that they use. Honestly, this logo actually a dear friend of mine that does graphic designing designed it for me, and obviously, you know, I made tweaks on it. I was like, yo, this is what needs to be added, this is what needs to be changed, and we both collabed on it, because honestly, people say, yo, I made it by myself, you know, success was my thing, all this was me. But the reality is, you don't make it by yourself. You have a team with you, no matter what, and you got to give credit where it's due. So I'm a humble person, honestly, and my brother, he's also coming up in the music game, and I'm trying to tell him that, he's a guitarist. My little brother, he's a guitarist, and he's coming up with the music game, and I'm telling him, hey, stay humble, no matter what you do, because you may be a guitarist, but don't forget that you're in a band. So, like, one of you's gonna make it, that means all of you gonna make it. You know, it's like the concept: if I eat, my whole team eats. If I starve, my whole team starves. That concept. So, honestly, this is like all this clothing company. I didn't make it if I didn't know a friend. I didn't get in contact with him if I didn't know a friend. My brother, he is a guitarist. He's not going to make it unless he understands the concept that it's a team effort, no matter what we do. To win a basketball game, it's a team, 5-on-5.
Absolutely.
Come on now. Someone's got to get the assist, right?
Absolutely. No doubt. That's for the game too, man. I love it.
Of course.
It's dope. We rocking with you. So let me ask you
Hey.
this. Where can people buy your gear? You got the gear. They can go to mbsclothing.com. Is that all available right now?
It's mbsclothingco.com.
Okay, so mbsclothingco.com.
Yep. And it is all available right now as we speak. Everything on that line right now on that website is available as we speak, and
Okay.
will be shipped to you.
There you
From
go.
what I was told in the paperwork, they say 6 days or less in the States. Right when you order it, they honestly get it all packed up and ready to go, right the spot. They don't hold back on it. If it's overseas, it takes about like a week and a half. That's the exact timeline, and honestly, they are never wrong, because I always ask people, hey, tell me when it gets here, and they're like 2 days later, like, hey, it's here. I'm like, okay, there's no fun in that. Come on now, I can't. I want to be on my guys, like, hey man, what's up with that? That's over 6 days.
But hey, man, that's part of your team, and I heard you say that the clothing was available. I just wanted to ask it a little bit more elaboration so that people understood that you know that it's available right now, this very second. So you guys can go there. And he said there's a lot of designs up. There's a lot of different options. So go check all that stuff out. Go buy some merch, because you got to support your local artists. The great music, the time that he puts in there, and me, when I'm in certain moods, you know, I can throw your music on and it might help me get through certain times. And it has, you know that. You feel me? Word up. So
Hey, right there.
go buy some of the music, or go buy some of the music, because he's on iTunes, he's on Spotify, he's on Amazon,
Google Play, Amazon, I'm
Tidal,
on iHeartRadio, I'm on everything.
all of it. And that's to know that joint. So go follow him, go buy the clothing, go buy the song, support any way. You know what I mean? Even the shares and the likes and the retweets, all that stuff. Go support. Everybody listen. I want you guys to do that right now. We're going to jump into question 9. All right. So you mentioned earlier the EP, bro. Tell us, can you tell us a little bit about it? Can we get a little bit?
So
How many tracks?
7 tracks.
Okay.
7 tracks.
And go ahead.
So it's 7 tracks. It's called Work in Progress. And Work in Progress, I came up with that name because this is like my first professional, self-produced, not self-produced, but self-proclaimed. It's a really long story, so I'm trying to like come up with short. So Work in Progress, it's an EP. The name derives from, honestly, my whole life, everything in progress, this music game, this industry. No matter what I'm going to do, it's always going to be a work in progress. And every track explains the come up. It explains what it goes through my mind, or explains the cocky ego that I have in the music game. Because it's not a matter of if I make it; it's a matter of when I make it. And no matter what, this whole game, you're always going to be a work in progress. Why not have the first EP entitled Work in Progress? Like, it's just that simple. It's full of diverse tracks, and it just tells basically a backstory of how it came up to be.
Didn't know that. That's dope. Is it so it's kind of like a story?
It's like a story, but at the same time, obviously, there's gonna be lines in there that are just out of context and whatnot. Doesn't tie into the story,
Gotta
but
still entertain, brother.
It brings in there, it entertains. Of course, it elaborates more on a certain subject each time.
Now,
but
is this all you, or do you have any features, whether producers or other artists or writers?
I have features. I have about 3 tracks are features. No Hype, that's one of them. One is called Today, and Ride is, I featured a guy that's also from my hometown, Fort Wayne, Trell 260. Me and him, I came to him and I told him, hey, we're both representing the city in a positive way, and in this negative time, we have to bring some positivity in the world. And I told him straight up, hey, this track, we're going to take our time on it, but as we take our time on it, I want you and me to send updates to each other on how we're going to, come forth with this track. And it's how it came to be. I wish I could play it. I wish I could show you, man, but hey, it's a really vibing track, and it's that kind of track where, you're just driving downtown, whether in the daytime or midnight by yourself, and you can just blast it, and you literally can like vocalize those lyrics. You can literally vocalize that hook, because that hook, I guarantee you, will stay on your mind the first time you hear it.
I'm excited to hear it. You got me hyped to hear it. So as soon as you can, maybe March 7th or whenever, send it over to me, and we're gonna let it go and let the people hear it, and then they all gonna go buy it. Now you got a couple videos out as well. You got the Know That video and a couple other joints which you spoke on very briefly. Who comes up with the concept for these projects and these videos? Is that you, or are you sitting down with the directors, or how's that working?
It's so it first starts off with me when I sit down with the director. I put the bass plan, I write it out, I say what should be done, and they say what can be done, and I say here that can be done, but this can also be done. So we come together and hash it out for about maybe an hour, which then also obviously turns into like 5 hours, 6 hours, and we come into production the next day or with that same day. The director he's also a dear friend of mine. He owns lightsyncstudios.com. Nice. That's his website name. And I think he's been doing photography, and he just started jumping into the videography world about maybe a year ago. And I was honestly his first real client with music, and pointing him out in the right direction. That's obviously, that's what I intended on doing. I didn't want just do this. I don't care how you do it, just do it. No, I literally sat there with him every step of the way, no matter what time it was. It could have been like 2 a.m. and we have formation in 2 hours, or it could have been during my break, during lunch or whatever, and I only have like an hour and a half of that. I just run over there across base just to sit down there with him and just say, hey, we should do this, and let's sit out and hash it out right there. So I mean, I'm not really the type of guy that just wants to fling someone out there like that. I always, I'm gonna always be there on the ground with them, always be on the front lines with them.
Yeah, and that's definitely admirable, and I feel like that makes the people that you work with want to work even harder when they see you in the trenches with them, and they see you, shoveling shit right beside of them. Listen, we're gonna do this together, and we're gonna get the job done and make sure that it's done right. That way, we don't got to go back and do it again, because that's more work for all of us.
Yep, that's true. It's like I said earlier, it's a team effort no matter what. Right. You can't take all the credit when someone was there with you.
Absolutely, no doubt. Now, you spoke, not even spoke, but you mentioned, I want to say it was Pac or it was Big. I'm going to ask you, Big, Pac, or NWA? Who you rocking with?
Who was that last one? I'm sorry.
NWA. So.
Oh man, why you got to throw me there?
You see, I changed it up a little bit.
Honestly, I'd have to go with NWA.
Okay, and why?
And so NWA, it's the way that they came up. In my opinion, that's why I go with them. So they came up in an area where it was struggling. It was a race war. I mean, today it's like they're bringing it back to a race war, but back then, the black community was just being, structured as, broken down. Nothing's going on. There's no future. There's no point. There's no saving. And NWA, the way that they came up about it was just in a different way. They brought hip hop. They changed hip hop music, in my opinion. I mean, Tupac and Big, they had their own initiative on it, but NWA there wouldn't be, in my opinion, a Tupac and a Biggie without NWA. Because honestly, I feel like NWA is one of the forefathers of hip hop.
You heard it here first. Certain energy, and you know what? I definitely rock with that. Have you saw the movie?
Of course, I saw the movie. I saw it in theaters about 3-4 times.
There you go. And let me ask you this: you gonna go see the Pac movie?
Of course, I'm gonna see the Pac movie. Whatever. If this movie deals with hip hop, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be the first one in line. I'm literally gonna stay up all night and wait to be the first one
fan.
there.
That's what I'm talking about. Not only is he an artist, and not only is he a businessman, he's a true hip hop fan. That's what I'm talking about, yo. The energy's crazy, man. The energy's crazy in the building. I wish you could see it and hear everybody going wild in the fan. Hey. Bro, no doubt. That's what I'm talking about. It's too many. It's a lot of artists that don't appreciate, the forefathers and whatnot, and they don't give any credit to the people before. And they couldn't tell you, that NWA was a staple for hip hop, and they couldn't tell you that without them you wouldn't have, Big or Pac or a lot of who we have today.
And
they
you wouldn't even have Eminem, to be honest with you. We wouldn't have any of these guys.
It's like there's no homage. So thank you again for that, man.
Of course. Just bringing out the honesty right now. Come on, always do.
And you can feel the passion. You can feel the passion just like when you throw that song on. Guys, go check Know That out right now. You can check out the music video on YouTube. You could also go to Spotify, hit that subscribe button. You can hear the song there. Purchase it. Hit the buy button. Go to iTunes. If you got the iPhone or the iMac or the iPad, it's very easy. You just hit buy, and then it downloads. And you can also stream it on Tidal or a couple other spots. I want him to go get that joint so bad right now because I feel like the music's going to change the world. That's what we need, man. The world is in a bad place, and good people, we need more of y'all. And any chance that I can get to blast out what you guys are doing, I'm going to, because we really, really need it. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, taking out of your comfort zone for just a second, you're just going to see a different part of the world. That's what I believe. So seeing all these other countries, seeing all these cultures, talking to all these people really just set me off, and brought me to become one of the person I am today. I'm a firm believer of that.
Absolutely, experiencing other cultures is definitely essential, and that's how you come to kind of understand, because you might think that somebody says this or does this for a certain way, and then you kind of learn about their culture, and it's like, oh well, this is why, and they have this belief, and it brings everybody together. So guys, definitely get to know thy neighbor. Talk to somebody that you don't know. Make a friend outside of your comfort zone, like A Certain Energy said, and
right there,
change the world just one smile at a time. That's real. Tell the people where they can find you. I've said it mad times, but it's different when it comes from you, man. Tell them where they can find you. You can find me on iTunes. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on Facebook. Facebook.com/ACertainEnergy. My name is literally how it is. You can just Google search me, certain energy, and you're gonna just see me as a top research result. Whatever you do, you can put certain energy, and I'm the top research result. And honestly, it just says how it is. You can buy my album. You can email me, hey, I can't buy this album. I don't have the money for it. Yo, we can talk about it. We can talk about life. We can talk about all this stuff, and I'll even give you my music for free. I'm a firm believer in giving my music for free, honestly, because as long as you vibe with it, as long as you feel something from it, yo, why not give the world something positive with it, So just my email is acertainenergy@gmail.com. Honestly, I respond within like a second of getting it. So if we want to have a conversation, whatever, if you're feeling down in the loops or whatever, you want to talk about music, you want to talk about hip-hop, you want to talk about rock, jazz, Ray Charles, NWA, it don't matter. We can talk about anything in the world, and I'll be there in a second, no matter what. Hey, guys, he is real. He talks with his fans. He interacts with everybody that hits him. He's got a lot of good energy. He's got a certain energy that you can vibe with and rock with. So definitely hit him up. Go check his music out. Let him know that you appreciate it. Let him know that you bought that T-shirt and that hat, and let him know that that song made you feel better on this day, because he's gonna hit you back and vibe with you, and you might learn something that you didn't know. That's what I'm all about. Is everybody coming together and supporting our artists, and just having a certain energy that changes the world one day, man. We're gonna change the world together.
Right there, right the spot.
So we're going to go into the music. We're going to play Know That right now, and then, we're going to play the joint, what was it, off the mixtape, The Four Pillars. We're going to play that later.
Oh, the Four Pillars, yep.
So all you got to do is to download that joint. You just got to create an account on Spinrilla, and then I believe you can download it, right? I think
you can download it for free off the spot. Mixtapes with a Z, Mixtapez, plug, Plug. And that's the host of the mixtape that I was featured on. Hot This Week, Volume 9, Track 8.
There we go. We're going to spin that joint a little bit later tonight. But for right now, we're getting into Know That, A Certain Energy. Go check them out.